Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, Sci-Fi Anathema. My name is Eric Navas, and in this video, we're going to talk about Warhammer 40k. More specifically, we're going to talk about the Astra Militarum. The Astra Militarum is, to put it in very oversimplified terms, is basically the army of Warhammer 40k. By army, I'm talking about, the tanks, the foot soldiers. That's what the Astra Militarum is. And they've been around since at least since the Great Crusade. Well, I'll do another video about that. So the reason I'm talking about this a little bit first, excuse me, is because I'm going to talk about one of my favorite characters, which is the Ciaphas Cain, right? His name is unique is because these are actually two names from the actual, the Christian Bible. Cain from Genesis, the brother who slain Abel, and then Caiaphas, the Pharisee who ordered the secret trial of Jesus. Right? So I'm not going to read the whole article. In fact, as I was doing this video, I totally forgot to make this article about a year ago. So I'm going to read the second half here, and I'll expand. In a separate video, I'll do a more like a book review, or in this case, an omnibus review on the Ciaphas Cain stories. So omnibus, for I don't remember if I did explain this in an earlier video, but basically omnibus is a anthology of novels. It's a basic collection of novels into one book. So an omnibus is like typically really thick, like 800, 900 to over 1,000 pages. That's what an omnibus is. Okay. So I'm going to read this article, and then I'm going to expand on it, the second half. Now to my first impressions of the Ciaphas Cain and his omnibus. You can tell by the cover of the omnibus that the man who did a number on the alien is the main focus. That man is Ciaphas Cain, and the alien is called an orc. Ciaphas Cain is part of the Imperial Guard, one of the military factions within the Imperium of Man. What makes Ciaphas Cain very intriguing is that he is a poster boy for the Imperium of Man, but not in the normal sense. He is in reality a bastard. He is basically Deadpool without powers or mutations. Yet he is in a sense comic relief in a very dystopian world. Ciaphas Cain himself is not a comedian, but his actions and circumstances is what brings the dark humor into light. Ciaphas Cain is just a guy doing his thing while people indirectly and directly in and outside of the Imperium want him dead. If there's one phrase to describe Ciaphas Cain, is that he is a heroic scoundrel. Definitely recommend this omnibus for those who are tired of the stereotypical / predictable hero who love anti-heroes and want a twist while having a good laugh here and there. Okay. So that's who Ciaphas Cain is. He's basically a soldier who could really move up the ranks if he wanted to in the Imperial Guard. Alright. So yes, he is a bastard. He is a poster boy, but not in a typical sense. The Imperium creates this propagandist image of Ciaphas Cain as this awesome hero, but in reality, he's just a guy who doesn't really care about what he's doing. He's just like, he has this kind of whatever attitude, for the most part, right? While in the military, like, he does have skills. He does do what he needs to be done, but he rather do other things in life, so to speak. So yes, so what makes Ciaphas Cain really awesome in Warhammer 40k is that he is basically kind of like the Deadpool of Warhammer 40k, like I said, without the powers, where he's like kind of the comic relief, because Warhammer 40k is very, right, it's very grim. and dark and scary. And so he's basically kind of like, the comic relief, the humor, to kind of ease that kind of tension. And he himself is not a comedian. He doesn't try to crack up jokes. Well, not very often jokes, but just the situations he's put into, it's just kind of funny or humorous. It seems kind of ridiculous in a way. So yes, he's a hero, but not in a typical sense. He's a deconstruction of what a hero is, because he's not. He's definitely no Boy Scout. So he's a hero who just wants to do what the hell he wants to do. However, he is a really awesome person in the sense that he is a bro, where he really cares about his regiment, like his group. Like, he actually does not want to see his own fellow brother die. So that's like one of the best traits about him, so that he is a comrade in the end. He's not a guy who wants to backstab his own brother to get ahead in life or anything like that. He really just genuinely cares about his fellow man. So yeah, if you want to get like a good laugh or want something humorous and not something just typically dark, then I recommend this, especially for those who are just barely starting off in 140K, where like, there's something like kind of lighter, and they have made 3 omnibuses of the Ciaphas Cain series, right? And yes, need to mention that the regiment is not by name, but it's rather by number. Ciaphas Cain's regiment is 597th because he combined 2 regiments together. But I don't want to spoil one of the stories for you. So yeah. So this is the first omnibus, right? This is all the novels and the short stories together. For omnibus, the second omnibus. Right. So you notice, like, here, right, he's more like kind of this nonchalant attitude, but then you notice here he has a little more kind of serious mentality. You can tell just by the image that something really happens. It happened through the battle or his personal life that makes him somewhat adjust his attitude. That's something that changes his character to an extent. Right? In the Saving Imperium, you see like he's smiling again. See here. More novels. Here, my snap neutral. Right? And there's a lot more novels on the Ciaphas Cain series. So I definitely recommend, like, financial wise, definitely want to buy the omnibus. And with the new book recently that came out, you definitely want to wait till the omnibus is created so that you could buy that, because it's actually financially it's a lot wiser and cheaper to buy the omnibus, where you could get the whole bunch of novels and short stories at once, than to buy each novel individually. I say this from personal experience because finances and whatnot. What makes the Ciaphas Cain story so interesting is that it's written as an autobiography, or more specifically, it's like a journal. And we get to see and hear Ciaphas Cain's, seeing here Ciaphas Cain. Right? He tells us what happens, but we also get to hear his thoughts, and we also get to hear about his feelings as well, about everything that goes around him, what he thinks about other people, etc. And the Inquisition of Warhammer 40K, I'll talk about them in a different video. Basically, they add commentary or edits to his story when you read the omnibuses. So the commentary or the side notes they make is either they're trying to elaborate or explain something that Ciaphas said in a passage, or they would try to dismiss what he said and get kind of antsy about some of the things he says, because Ciaphas Cain actually just really downplays the Inquisitors and the Imperium. He kind of basically trash talks them. But he doesn't do it in a sense of like, he wants to commit treason. He does it in a way it's just like, I just don't really care about them, but I'm just going to do this anyway, right? And the Inquisitor barely tolerates, the stuff that Ciaphas Cain writes. And there's some parts where it's edited out by the Inquisitor, where they feel like it's not relevant to the Imperium, or they feel like it's something heretical. I'll definitely want to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below for all the omnibuses. Okay. So this is sort of a shorter video because there's another series. There's multiple series on the Astra Militarum by itself. Ciaphas Cain is one of them. There's also Yarick, Sebastian Yarick. There's also Gaunt's Ghost, Vibrium Gaunt. I'll do separate videos on them because I try to put talk about all of them as well in this video. This video will be over an hour long. So, yeah. So this is just Ciaphas Cain. Definitely recommend it. The humor is awesome. The humor is often dark, or if it's not dark, then it's it really lightens the atmosphere around him. So the humor's either light or dark, depending on the situation, and also depending on your perspective. But it's still humor nonetheless. You'll definitely get at least a chuckle out of it. It's definitely worth reading. And that's all for today's video. Until next time.